In the summer of 2007, in a concrete schoolroom in the Asyut Governorate of Upper Egypt, a 7-year-old girl reached under her desk to pick up a pencil she had dropped. She felt a sting on the back of her hand. It was brief, sharp, and gone almost instantly. She said nothing to her teacher, said nothing to her friends on the walk home. By evening, she was having trouble breathing. By midnight, the fluid had filled her lungs. She never saw the animal that killed her. She didn't need to. In most cases, you don't. The thing you need to understand about the Deathstalker is that it is small, 30 to 77 millimeters, smaller than your palm, pale yellow, almost translucent, as if the desert itself grew a body and learned to sting. It doesn't look like a monster. That is precisely why it is one. We have built our fear of dangerous animals around scale, the crocodile, the great white, the bull elephant. We understand viscerally that size means danger. We do not have the same wiring for something that can hide behind a coin. That's the first mistake. But the most efficient killing machines on this planet are not the ones that are bigger than you. They are the ones you don't see coming. The Deathstalker lives across a band of territory stretching from Algeria and Mali in the west, through Egypt and Ethiopia, across the Arabian Peninsula, and east toward India. It mostly resides in desert and scrubland, but it doesn't favor anything. It goes where the rock is warm during the day and cool at night, where the crevices are deep enough to hide in, and where prey is nearby. In Egypt alone, the Upper Nile region records tens of thousands of scorpion sting cases every year. The WHO classifies scorpionism, that's what the scientific community calls mass scorpion envenomation in human populations, as a neglected tropical disease. Not neglected because it's rare, neglected because the people it kills most often don't have a voice loud enough for the world to pay attention. More than 1.2 million scorpion stings are recorded globally every year. Over 3,000 people die, the majority being children under 15. 3,000 every year. That is not a statistic, that is a number of names. The Deathstalker does not inject a single toxin. It injects a cocktail of 4 toxins, each one doing a different job and moving through the body on its own timeline. Chlorotoxin is perhaps the most remarkable component. It hijacks the electrical signaling of the nervous system. In controlled doses, researchers are now studying it to illuminate brain tumor cells during surgery. It binds to glioma tissue with near-surgical precision, making cancerous cells visible in real time, while healthy tissue remains dark. That is what this animal carries in its tail, something so precisely engineered that oncologists want to use it to save lives. And yet when it enters a person's bloodstream in an uncontrolled dose, it does something else entirely. The pain arrives within seconds, described by clinicians as an 8 or 9 on a 10-point scale and constantly spreading, then the fever, then the muscle spasms, then, in the most severe cases, the fluid begins to accumulate in the lungs resulting in pulmonary edema. The body is flooded with signals it can't interpret, because the venom directly destroys the lung tissue. The system it was designed to regulate, the electrochemical architecture of the body, has been taken offline. Here is the part that medical workers in high-incidence regions know, and that most people outside those regions do not. The Deathstalker does not chase. It does not hunt humans. Every death documented in the medical literature is the result of an accident of proximity: a hand under a rock, a foot in an unworn shoe, a child sleeping on a floor mat in a home where the scorpion came in from the heat. Contact is almost never intentional. The scorpion stings defensively, instantly, and retreats. It has no interest in you after that. By the time you understand what has happened, it is already gone. The symptoms are excruciating pain, nausea, and elevated heart rate. The sting is survivable, but in children, whose body masses are smaller than adults, the symptoms can escalate from sting to respiratory failure in under 4 hours. 4 hours in a region where the nearest hospital with antivenom may be 40 miles away on an unpaved road. Antivenom exists. It is produced by 3 manufacturers, including Sanofi Pasteur and AbbVie. But, the Deathstalker's venom carries a property that distinguishes it from most other venomous species. It is unusually resistant to treatment. Clinicians in the field describe administering dose after dose, well beyond standard protocol, while monitoring patients in ICU for complications that emerge hours after the initial sting appears controlled. In the United States, the anti-venom is not FDA approved. It exists only as an investigational drug. The U.S. Armed Forces maintain an emergency supply for personnel deployed to the Gulf. The Florida Anti-Venom Bank holds a single reserve. Outside of these carefully rationed exceptions, access to treatment is a function of geography, infrastructure, and how close you happen to be to a city when it happens. For most people in the world who encounter this animal, the calculation is simply a matter of reaching the hospital before the lungs fill. That's the entire plan. If you enjoy horror stories about real documented encounters with dangerous creatures, then please like this video and subscribe to our channel. We're just getting started. In 2015, oncologists began using a synthesized version of chlorotoxin, the same compound in this scorpion's tail, as a fluorescent tumor paint during brain cancer surgery. Injected into the patient, it seeks out glioma cells and makes them glow. Surgeons can see the edges of a tumor in real time. Healthy tissue stays dark. One context is a child in a schoolroom in Upper Egypt, reaching for a pencil she had dropped. The other, a neurosurgeon in Seattle, removing a brain tumor with precision that wasn't possible 10 years ago. The Deathstalker doesn't know it's doing any of this. It simply exists. It has existed, in more or less this form, for 400 million years. 3,000 children every year are killed by something that weighs less than a house key, and has never once hunted a human being. We build our myths around the things that are bigger than us, the things we can see coming, the things that announce themselves. The real world doesn't always work that way. The real world keeps its most dangerous things small, pale, hidden in the dark space under a desk, in the gap between two rocks, in the shoe by the door. The monsters were never imaginary. We just kept looking in the wrong direction.